Waking up from Jehovah's Witness indoctrination can be hard. Peeling off the layers of indoctrination, getting over the fear of Armageddon, and learning how to dismantle the doctrine took me about half a year, and it would have taken longer if I hadn't read these books. I'm making this video to share a bit of my waking up process, and hopefully to help you and other XJWs along their journey. Also, Altworley recently tweeted this, and I'm trying to beat him to a video for once. Crisis of Conscience is probably the most fascinating book any Jehovah's Witness and ex-Jehovah's Witness can find. Not only is it the story of a governing body member who realized he was in a cult, but Raymond Friends was there when they transitioned the power from the organization's president to the governing body. If you are a Jehovah's Witness who believes their lie on how there's always been a governing body
was formed at Pentecost of 33 CE, more than 18 centuries before the Pennsylvania Corporation came into existence.
Friends dispels that myth by showing you his experience working for the Watchtower, climbing up the ranks, living through 1975, and explaining exactly how decisions were made back then. I expected this book to be an angry book, maybe talking about scandals and conspiracies going on inside the religion, but what I found instead was a book written with a lot of love and sadness about a sometimes boring and undeniably human religious organization. Despite there being many amazing books written by ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, this is the only one I'll recommend in this list just because if you're gonna read just one book from an apostate, I really believe it should be this book. Although not technically a book, this 110-page document will completely dispel any ideas that the Jehovah's Witnesses protect children from abuse. This document was written and funded directly by the Australian government, so no apostates, no Satan, just a first world government. The point of the Australian Royal Commission was to look into multiple organizations and determine whether they had an appropriate response to CSA cases. This document not only shows a deep and accurate understanding of the Jehovah's Witnesses, it also shows how difficult they were to work with and how much they tried to obfuscate and slow down the process with deceptions and technicalities. Plus, you can watch the Jeffrey Jackson testimony and read the secret Elder's Manual that women are not allowed to touch, all put together and hosted for free by the Australian government. After reading that, you'll pretty much know everything you need to know about the Jehovah's Witnesses and their covering and mishandling of CSA cases. Realizing that everything you believed in was a lie can be disconcerting and overwhelming. Making peace with the idea that I'm not gonna live forever and that I'm going to die one day along with everything and everyone I love has been one of the hardest parts of waking up to me. I've been rereading this book about a Holocaust survivor and his experiences from a psychological point of view. This is an intense book filled with death and hopelessness, but it also teaches you to find hope in the most unexpected places. It tries its best to answer the question, what is the purpose of life? But from a humane, logical, and psychological place, which you may find more satisfying than the answer we used to give about the purpose being serving Jehovah, whatever that means. The book has helped me contextualize my experience and has made me feel that, hey, if Victor was able to go through that horrible situation and come out with this brilliant book, maybe I come out of this experience as a successful YouTuber. No book goes this far into breaking apart how your mind was hijacked better than this book. Written by one of the most prominent cult experts, Stephen Hassan did not even know about the Jehovah's Witnesses when he wrote this book, yet the mind-controlling tactics he experienced with the Moonies seamlessly fit within the Jehovah's Witness theology and structure. This book is so good at dismantling what happened to your mind that it may even be a good recommendation to your therapist if they aren't too familiar with cult indoctrination themselves. Despite it being quite deep and sometimes technical, the book is flawlessly written with a cult survivor in mind, and it was very accessible to a layman like me. Don't click away, I know it sounds like a cop-out, but hear me out. There is no better way to wake up than by reading the Bible itself. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that they apply everything the Bible tells them to exactly the way the Bible tells them to. And that is a complete lie. You may be surprised to know how the Bible has practically nothing to say about apostates or lesbians or judicial meetings. I still find it surprising how some ex-Jehovah's Witnesses still believe that Jesus or that the early Christians preached door to door and don't know the many atrocities registered in the Old Testament. If you want to read the actual Bible, find a translation other than the one used by Jehovah's Witnesses. However, that's not always necessary. I went to most of my meetings in Spanish congregations, but I had a spare English translation that I used during my waking up process. Since I wasn't fully familiar with the English Jehovah's Witness vernacular, I was able to read the Bible that I had been reading, but without any of the preconceptions that come from recognizing a verse and linking it to the Jehovah's Witness meaning. Instead of reading it from cover to cover, I started reading it by topic and marking each topic I thought disproved my religion with different colors. I used one color for the blood doctrine, another one for disfellowshipping, another one for the organization, and before I knew it, I had debunked all of my beliefs, and I had a great color-coded guide to debunk the religion using nothing but the Bible. And now I have a Jehovah's Witness friendly Bible that allows me to talk to pretty much any Jehovah's Witness without them raising their defenses, because after all, I'm just a faded Jehovah's Witness using a book they made. And if they want to tell me that I should be using the silver sword, I can ask why, and that can lead into a great conversation between the differences in translation, which I have also marked in my Bible. Those were the 5 books that helped me the most during my waking up process. If you want to find them or buy them, you can find affiliate links below, which support the channel at no extra cost to you, although most of them are free or have a free option. This is obviously not supposed to be a comprehensive list, so let me know, if you were to replace one of these books, which one will you replace and which one would you choose instead? I genuinely want to know. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. I'm still working on my Patreon chosen video essay, but it's taking longer than I thought it would take, and I thought you guys may enjoy a shorter video. Thank you so much for your support, and the video is over now.